Danger, Will Robinson, danger, danger. Hello fellow CNCnutz and welcome. If you watched last week's episode, you would have seen me making a dust collector hose management system. And if you recall, I wasn't overly thrilled at the way it looked. First glance, it does look pretty ugly. It looks the same on second glance as well. Now, the more observant you may notice that the hose is actually missing. I really couldn't stand the sight of it. It looked ugly. It's gone. I'm going to have another lash at it this time, and this time I'm going to go space age on it and see if I can come up with something better. I sure as hell can't come up with anything much worse. But fear not, I will be using one or two of these. Haven't decided yet, making it up as I go along. Let's get on with it. About 9 or 10 years ago when I brought this dust collection hose here, it used to be very supple. It used to fold up like that and would quite cheerfully sit like that, no problem at all. These days it's spread out, it's a lot less flexible than it used to be, and even though it's not cracking or anything like that, I think the UV lights got at it and just hardened the plastic up. It's just not as good as it was when I originally brought it. Now at the same time I brought that though, I brought this. This is just as supple and as flexible as it was the day I brought it. Now I've been using this as part of my dust collection for a while, and but admittedly I was using it more in this format here, with just the ability to concertina out like this here when I wanted to move something. So it's not really been tested in the way that the old dust collection hose has. But nonetheless, I'm going to use not that one. I brought a new one here because this one here should hopefully have another 10 years life on it over and above what that's given already. It's not designed as a dust collector hose, so who knows what's actually going to happen. But we're going to find out. It can't be much worse than I had before. Now I'll still be using this here, and the ducting will just go through like that and work its way through. But I won't be suspending this from a rope as I did last time. I've got another plan for it. Now, in the tradition of Kiwi DIYers everywhere, I'm going to make this up as I go along. Starting off with a piece of wood here. It's 90mm wide. It's actually a piece of decking timber. On that, I plan to put the dust collection hose, attach it so it basically can't fall off. Now I plan to make use of this here, but instead of hanging it from the bottom as you might expect, I'm going to mount it like this. And that's going to allow the hose to come up, over and drop down. And this curve here will stop it from getting a nasty kink in it. Of course I won't be dropping this hose down. The idea is to drop this one, which is nice and flexible and will not impede the X, Y or Z axis in any way. So what could possibly go wrong? I've started by putting the piece of wood in position where I want it to be, and I'm just going to screw it in place onto the rafters here, but I'm just going to mark where it overhangs here so that I can cut it just to make it look that bit nicer. Now while I was up marking it, I marked this end here, which is the bit that comes over the table, the angle that will make it straight onto the table. Then I had to cut a piece off the corner there so that this here can fit in there like that and allow the hose to come down, have a slight curve in it, and then down onto the table. It'll make it look that little bit neater and tidier, I hope. Right, well, I got my stick in with the end on it, and I think it'll look a bit nicer with the hose on it itself. But now comes the age-old question. How am I going to join this to this? And it's about now, this project is about to go to the dogs. Well, not really. The cats, actually. This is a pet food tin that I've cut the top and bottom off of. Now one side of this here is slightly bigger than the other, so I'm going to use the slightly bigger one to go into the dust collection hose like so. Once it's clamped in, it won't be going anywhere. And hopefully this slightly curved down area will make it easier to get it into my nice new flexible duct here. Let the cursing begin. Well, this is actually going on a little bit easier than I thought it might. And I've just remembered I brought some aluminium tape for a project, so I'll just put this here over here to help hold it in place and to seal it up. So now I need to get this here onto there. So looks like the secret is you need to sort of tease out all the aluminium like this here. Try not to let it bunch up, and basically just wind it on in place, and it should make its way down here. And there we have it, nicely held onto here, and it isn't going to go anywhere in a hurry. It's certainly not going to pull off. And it came with some nice long cable ties, which I can add to here as well if I think there's any issue that's likely to come off. In this case, I don't think it is, so I'm not going to worry about it at this point in time. Right, well, I've started by putting the hose onto the DustShoe in place on the machine. This here can come up here like so, and I can take my other hose here and connect that up as well, like so. Now I'm going to use some cable ties. I'm just going to cable tie this down so that it can't go anywhere. And I also have to put a hose clamp on up here as well, so that my clear PVC pipe hose cannot come off either. There we have it, the completed dust hose installation, and it looks a hell of a lot better than my previous attempt and very futuristic. Of course, how well this is going to hold up is anybody's guess. It's obviously not going to be anywhere near as good as the other hose. The other hose cost me over $100 for a 3 meter length, while this was $14 for 3 meters. Only time will tell, of course, and who knows, it may be destroyed on my very first cut. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode. Tell me what you think. Is this my space odyssey, or am I lost in space? All that remains me to do is to thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my website, www.CNCnutz.com. I look forward to reading your comments. Cheers.